Hi guys, hope you're well. Recently for a project for uni I had to, I decided to look at some of the stuff involved in something called the fine-tuning argument, which is about space and about kind of God's hand in that, how it's also immaculately done. That got me into looking a little bit into apologetics and stuff, and I don't always do that, but I find it a little bit interesting, and I just thought I'd do a video about God's existence and why I believe in God, the case for God in a apologetic stance. So first of all, I just want to say there's something called the ontological argument, which basically states that everyone actually believes in God, but not everyone wants to admit they believe. If you ask people like on the street, do you believe in God? A lot of people will say, no, but I do believe there's something out there. And my point is that, and which I'll be continuing to say throughout this video, is that actually I don't think it's so much that the people don't believe. So I do agree with the ontological argument. I don't believe it's not that people don't believe in God so much. It's that they don't like the idea of believing in God, and we'll get to that later, because of the responsibility that they think is involved in Christianity. So the thing is that at the moment, not atheism, but agnosticism is actually on the rise. So people kind of saying that, yeah, I think there's something out there, but I'm not really sure what it is. That's on the rise. As people want to be more inclusive, that goes with it, agnosticism. Obviously, recently we had Avatar: The Way of Water come out, and I was looking at the box office, the top films ever, and on the top, they've all got something in common. So we've got at the very top is Avatar. So 4 of the 5 top ones are Avatar, Avengers Endgame, The Force Awakens, and Avengers Infinity War. That's 4 of the 5, and they all have in common is good versus evil. There must be something more to this life, and also it's superheroes saving the day. And what's interesting is with these 3 things, Christianity has all these 3 things. And not everyone realises that these things people find so attractive are actually in Christianity itself. And then the other film that's in the top 5 is Titanic. And that gets me onto the next subject of love. And obviously love is the most dominant theme in both music and film. And the thing is with love is that I think sometimes the atheists can say that love, when you really break it down, is atoms and molecules, but obviously you don't say that on your first date. You know, you'd get a slap. And we try to make it something more than it is, but the question is, I would ask, is why are we doing that if it is just atoms and molecules? What's the point of flowering it up? What's the point of trying to make love something more than it is? And my point would be that it is something more. It's not just atoms and molecules. There's so much more to it. And so yeah, going on to the thing about love, you know, for example, so some people would say, so rape, for example, almost every, like 99% of people would say is wrong. 99% of people would say rape is wrong, and yet 1 in 4 men watch porn daily. And so the thing is that you've got to ask yourself, is this, and it's because people say, well, that's right for me, but this is wrong for me, and it's all like that. But the problem is that morality doesn't work like that, or at least it doesn't in society, because it's chaos. If one person's right and one person's wrong is different, then you get wars, and it just does not work. And yet God does set the bar. He does say this is what it is, and the reason people don't go to it is not because that doesn't make sense, because it does. Because the reason people are complaining about the government saying it's corrupt wherever you go in any country it's because they do want someone to lead them. They do want someone to follow, and it does say in the Bible that Jesus, the government, will be on his shoulders, and we don't want to follow, or people don't want to follow him, because they think they have to basically come under all these rules, and yet God came to save us from these rules, but to instill within us the moral code that a relationship with him provides. So So yeah, my question is, why would people say rape is wrong when animals do it, and they say that we're surely we're just animals, why don't? And the thing is that we talk, the atheist talks about the fact that you need to survive, and therefore you mate to survive, and your genes have to go on and stuff, and you want to get the most suitable match for that process. It doesn't explain why rape is wrong. And morality does not suddenly appear. It can't suddenly just get there. It's either there or it's not. It wasn't with monkeys, for example. You don't see a particular or any animals. You don't see any moral compass or code they go by. They just do whatever they want when they want. And when you call humans, "Oh, they're such an animal," it's not a compliment by any means. A question about evolution for me, a big one, is obviously people say that we came from the monkey and now we're the human, and that all these individual stages. In the world today, we still have monkeys and we still have humans. Where on earth are those individual stages today if evolution is still going on and there are still monkeys in the world and they're still humans? There must be those individual stages. There must be a half human, half monkey if evolution was in fact true. So that's a big one for me, why I don't believe in evolution. And so, yeah, I think for a lot of these points, people would say, you know what, I could logically agree to those. But again, there's the responsibility aspect. So what a lot of people do in our society is they dip in, for example, I'll do a bit of yoga or New Age or Buddhism, and they're willing to say there's more. They're willing to say, oh, there is the spiritual then, when it suits them. But responsibility comes in when Jesus is asking for your whole life, and they don't want to give that. It's not that they don't believe in God or they believe in the idea of God. It's that they don't want to face the responsibility. But I want to say that actually it's everything that God asks for you, everything is actually for your welfare. Jesus said, if you lose your life, i.e. give it to me, you'll actually find it. And but if you save onto it, you actually lose it. So I'm just going to leave you with those thoughts. They're my thoughts regarding some of the stuff about apologetics. I'd be really interested what anyone thinks about the whole thing about the half monkey, half human thing. I don't know if anyone's got any thoughts on that, any atheists, but I'd be interested to hear what you say. So thank you guys. God bless. God loves you.